I would like to begin the meeting by the Pledge of Allegiance, and followed by a moment of silence. All right, we're going to be starting our regular meeting on April 8th, 6 o'clock. The three emergency exits, there's one out to the left, one out here, one to my right. If you need to have these, please make sure all cell phones are silenced during this time that we have. And also, I would, any vocal issues we have, please let us know. And I'd like to greet the viewers at home as well. They're going to be seeing this as well, so we'd like to thank them for coming along. All right. Let's start out now with the supervisor comments. I've got a number of things to talk about. One of the things is beach road flooding. That's been quite an issue with us, and it's not the first time, not the first rodeo we've had this. We do have beach road flooding from time to time, and this year we did. Now, I'd like to thank the highway department, police department, first responders. It was a great community effort to try to allay people's fears. And I mean, we've been doing everything we can to keep people from driving up there. And if they are driving slow, we've been calling people out. We've been doing everything we possibly can. The highway department getting sandbags out, replacing and replenishing the sand. Marvelous. Our VIPs with our police department, not only patrols with police, we've also had our VIPs out there. So this is really a heavy lift for everybody, and I have to say that we responded very well as a town. So I want to thank everybody who was involved in the effort. It still continues, but we're hopefully going over the hump and now going to be drier. Like to announce that we're going to have the long-awaited dog park grand opening. This is a passion of our clerk, Tracy Kosselman, who just loves this thing. Saturday, April 11th, this Saturday. It's going to be at 11 o'clock a.m. Yeah, I saw that. 11 o'clock. So if you feel free like bringing your dogs on over there to see our new park, please do so. It'll be a great event. Earth Day on the 23rd is also going to be happening. We're going to make sure that we're going to be meeting at what? Saturday, I'm sorry, Saturday. Yep. So we're going to be doing our Earth Day. So make sure you put that on your calendar on the 23rd. Also, I'm going to move the supervisor Saturdays to that as well. So I'm sorry, 25th, right? We're going to move supervisor Saturdays that day as well. So we'll do kind of you want to come talk to the supervisor, pick up some trash with us. So that'll be a lot of fun. I would like to read a letter very quickly. I just received an email from a resident, and I feel this should be, let people know. This is to Chris Woznicka. I am writing to send a sincere thank you to you and your team. I requested an inspection of my mailbox on Cobalt Drive on Monday, and I was pleasantly surprised to see that it had been repaired within 24 hours. I truly appreciate the quick response and the professional job your crew did. Thank you for your continued hard work you do for the community and keeping our infrastructure in top shape. And that was Jessica Sabota who sent that to us. So we just want to give a little bit of a kudos to our highway department for that. And the last note that we have is a sad note, but a hopeful note. Former supervisor and current planning board member Judy Boyke has been taken ill. She's in the hospital right now with some issues, and we're awaiting word to find out what's going to be going on. But Judy's a real steward for this town, and we wish her well. And our thoughts and prayers are with her as she battles this situation. So, thank you so much. All right. At this point, I would like to have public input pertaining to items, with the exception of the public hearing. Come on up if you'd like to speak. You have up to 3 minutes. All right. It looks as though we have no one, so we're going to close that portion of our meeting. The abstract? You? Yeah.
Okay, move for the adoption. Turn the mic on. Move for the adoption of a resolution approving abstracts number 13 of 2026 dated 4/1/2026 and abstract 14 dated 4/8/2026.
I will second. And do we have any board comments to accept the abstracts 13 and 14, or any comments on the abstracts themselves? Okay, So we have no comments, and I'd like to commend Counselor Daniel for having a lot of his questions emailed so that they could be answered in advance to save us a lot of time for that. So, all right, I would like to call for a voice vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? The motion is adopted. Public hearing to consider the acceptance of the petition plan and contract drawings for the Cicero Sewer District, contract number 43, associated with the Americana of Cicero Development. I would like to waive the reading of the legal notice posted and advertised at this time. Do I have a second?
Second.
I'd like to have a voice vote. All in favor of waiving the reading, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? The motion is adopted. Okay, at this point, I'd like to ask if our town engineer, Kate Fiorello, would like to speak regarding this public hearing.
Sure. This is just for the sewer, the process for the little bit of public sewer that is being built for this project that was at the town's request, so we can in the future tie in more people. And the developer is going through all the steps with it. So it's the development kind of behind the post office, Route 31 area, that hopefully will kick off this summer. So this is just the process of making that happen.
Okay, at this point, I would like to open the public hearing at 6:07 PM and ask if anybody would like to speak for or against this. Do we have any board comments? Okay, we're going to close the public hearing at 6:07 PM. We're moving on. Approving the acceptance of the petition plan and contract drawings for the Cicero Sewer District, contract number 43, associated with the Americana of Cicero Development. Whereas the town board approved the PUD on 6/11/2025 and the project was declared an unlisted action for the purpose of Cicero compliance. And whereas the town requested the public sewer be extended pursuant to the proposed petition map and plan. And whereas the developer will construct the extension of the public sewer at their expense, now therefore be it resolved that the town board approves a resolution to accept the petition plan of contract drawings for Cicero Sewer District, contract number 43, associated with the Americana of Cicero Development, dated September 8th, 2025, last revised April 6th, 2026, as prepared by Edward Reed Engineering, PLLC. Do I have a second?
Second.
Do we have any comments on this? Okay, in that case, I would like to call for a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion is carried. All right, public hearing to consider acceptance of the water petition plan titled Cicero Water District Extension Number 6. I would like to move the waiving of the waived reading of the legal notice posted and advertised at the proper time. Do I have a second?
So moved.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is adopted. Okay, Kate, you're up again.
Sure. So the water will be provided by Aqua, and this part of the project was not in a water district, so we had to establish one. We asked them to take in more property, so that whole corner will then be in a water district if in the future those other properties would like to tie in with Aqua Service. So.
All right, thank you, Kate. At this point, I would like to open the hearing, public hearing at 6:10 PM. And do we have anybody who would like to speak for or against this motion? Any board comments? All right, I'm calling to close the public hearing at 6:10 PM. All right, Cicero Water District Extension Number 6. I'm making a motion to resolve the Cicero Town Board adopts a resolution declaring the town's action to establish the Cicero Water District Extension Number 6 as an unlisted action for the purposes of seeker compliance. The proposed action will not have a negative impact on the environment. According to the proposed action, it does not require a preparation of a draft environmental impact statement or any other statement as adopted. Do I have a second?
Second.
Board comments, please. Okay, since there are none, I'll call for a voice vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Nays, abstentions, motion is adopted. Moving on. Approving the acceptance of the legal description and plan for the Cicero Water District Extension Number 6. Whereas the Americana of Cicero development is not located in a water district and water service was requested from Aqua, and whereas Aqua requires customers to be in water districts, and whereas the property owner paid for the professional services to create a new water district and included the contiguous neighbors in the district, now therefore be it resolved that the town board approve the formation of the Cicero Water District Extension Number 6 as shown on the water petition plan titled Cicero Water District Extension Number 6 dated March 18th, 2026 as prepared by Iannuzzi and Romans Land Survey. Do I have a second?
Second.
Board discussion. I'll call for a voice vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed and abstentions, motion is adopted.
Set a public hearing to consider the 2026-27 Community Development Grant application. Move for the adoption of a resolution calling a public hearing on April 22nd, 2026, commencing at 6 p.m. local time to consider the 2026-27 Community Development Grant application for enhancements to the Cicero Senior Center.
Second.
Do we have board comments? Set the hearing? Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions, motion is adopted.
Question on this next item. I thought it was moved to April the 22nd, the approval of the grant or the submission of the grant because it was premature to approve that prior to the public hearing. It was removed from the last edition of this.
So it's just to let you know that that we can still submit it and then have the public hearing. It's just allowing us to submit the application. And then we can have the public hearing and make changes later.
Okay,
But it's allowing us to get the application in.
because Alex's email said that that should be pushed.
The
I agree. It should be the way we do it.
Okay, so we're good with this? We can continue?
Yeah, we'll move that item to 422.
We're going to move that item to 422? All right, we will, let's see, do I have to make a motion to move that to 422 to vote on that, clerk? Tracy, do I have to motion to move that? We have to have a motion to move that
Please.
to 422
Yes,
as well?
please.
Well, we'd never made a motion to,
Well,
Well, we set the public hearing, so
right, we set the public
Yes.
hearing.
Alex,
Yeah,
come on,
absolutely.
we're all friendly here.
you got to hit the green button. Yep, you got it.
All right. So it's the official one. Yes, this was on here mostly to accept just that we're submitting the application. So because the application is due on the 10th, we still have to submit it by then with the caveat that we still have a public hearing that things can be changed on it. But I just wanted your approval to just submit it in the first place. And things can be changed after the public hearing. If anything comes up, then things can still be changed, but we just want the approval to move forward with the,
So is there
So,
like
like,
an
it's looking-
amendment process if there needed to be?
right, then we would amend it and redo the application based on whatever comes up, and then we can do a reapproval.
Okay.
Does that fit? Can we move ahead? Or do you want to hold that to another day?
I mean, if it needs to be submitted prior to the 10th, I guess we can move forward with approving that as long as there's a way to make amendments to it if anything comes out of the public hearing to.
Yeah, I spoke with the gentleman, Michael LaFleur at Community Development, and he said that's because they give us such a short window, like 4 weeks to put these together. He said that's how most of the towns do it. As long as when we submit the application that we have a date for the public hearing set and then an anticipation of an approval, then we can still submit the application and change things as they come up.
Okay. Thank you for the clarification.
Thank you.
So then I will move for the adoption of a resolution to support and authorize the Parks Department to move forward with submitting an application for the $50,000 funding from the Community Development Block Grant for enhancements to the Cicero Senior Center, as well as the updated 5-year plan as required by the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, HUD. The town board further agrees to allocate approximately $12,500 in funds to meet the required match to this grant.
Do we have a second?
second.
Okay. Any other board comments other than what we have previously discussed?
The 12,500's already been appropriated and in the budget, correct? So we don't need to do an additional.
That's budgeted for this year. That would be what they're asking for here is basically consideration to add it to next year's budget when that comes around.
Can I come back up?
Sure.
It's tricky because we have two different grants going on at the same time,
Okay.
but it's really the same grant. Is that still on? So what the application that we're requesting to submit is actually for next year. So you submit
Okay.
it now, they approve it like in October, but then the funds and everything aren't until next year. So we had one last year. So were approved for one last year to do some enhancements at the senior center.
Right.
So
And that's what the
12.5 is in it.
12.5.
Right. So really, we're just gonna do the same thing again next year.
So can we appropriate funds for a future budget?
You not
We'd just do it in the
budget.
next year
Yeah.
budget in June or so.
Right. But so, I mean, but it will still need to be approved as part of the budget process in the fall, right?
Correct,
So we're
yes.
just indicating that we're going to do that.
That we're intending to do that, yes.
Okay. Very good.
Okay, additional board comments? Okay, I would call for a voice vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions, motion is adopted.
Set bid date for new roof for the Cicero Senior Center. Move for the adoption of resolution to authorize the Parks Department to move forward with soliciting proposals with a formal bid process for a new roof to be installed at the Cicero Senior Center. Bids will be accepted no later than 10 a.m. on Monday, April 27th, 2026 at the Town Hall.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Board comments, please. Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions, motion is adopted.
Safety Coordinator, move for the adoption of resolution that the Cicero Town Board appoint Jessica Solier as the Safety Coordinator for the Town of Cicero per the Memorandum of Understanding.
Second.
Board comments? Basically, just so that everybody is aware, this is a move for us to replace the safety coordinator because Sergeant Amiot is retiring from the force and he was the safety coordinator. So what we're doing is we're moving Jessica, who is basically the second choice of the early appointment, to take that role, and she graciously agreed to. So she's just basically going to take it on over. So that's why we're doing this. Any additional comments? All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Abstentions? Motion is adopted.
The police, various surplus items. Move for the adoption of the resolution to sell 10 surplus Axon Taser X26P handles with 2 cartridges each, 16 holsters, and 32 training cartridges to the Village of Central Square Police Department for $3,000. Budget code 002-0000-2665-0000.
Second.
Okay, any board comments?
This is a revenue budget line where for the fund, receipt of the funds when they come in. Okay.
Okay. All right, any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries.
Move for the adoption of a resolution to consider an amendment to Chapter 152 of Town Code relating to setting park hours for all parks as follows. Seasonal park operating hours. All parks will operate under seasonal hours during the peak season, defined as the period from Memorial Day through Labor Day. Peak season hours, all parks shall be open from 5 a.m. to 9 p.m. daily. Non-peak season hours, outside of the peak season, park hours shall remain as currently established, opening 1/2 hour before dawn and closing 1/2 hour before dusk. Local law enforcement has the discretion in determining when and how to enforce these operating hours in accordance with the applicable laws and circumstances.
Do we have a second? I will second. Board comments on this before we move ahead?
If we're amending town code, doesn't this require a public hearing again?
That's what-
We set the public hearing for the next board meeting.
Okay.
This is to basically get it out so people have it and it's out. to
Okay, so the public hearing's already set, and this is what, okay, to give notice of what it is. Okay.
Just amending that part, okay. All right, any other board comments? All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed and abstentions, the motion is adopted.
Move for the adoption of a resolution to accept $500 from Modular Comfort Systems as a sponsor of the Summer Concert Series at Williams Park. Revenue code 001-0000-2705-0000. This is gifts and donations.
Do we have a second? No, thank you. All board comments? All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions, the motion is adopted.
Move for the adoption of a resolution to approve a budget transfer from the gifts and donations account of $500 to the special events budget code 001-7989-4000-0000, which is the Summer Concert Series contractual account.
Second.
Board discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions, motion's adopted. Highway, removal of various dead, dying, dangerous trees in the highway ROW. Move for the adoption of a resolution to approve chestlock tree removal, Onondaga County Contract 5885, to remove dead, dying, dangerous trees in the highway right-of-way for 2026. The amount of $20,000, budget code 003-514-4036-0000, brush and tree removal. Do I have a second?
Second.
Board comments?
Dead, dying, dangerous. Say that 3 times fast.
I liked how
Tongue
that,
twister.
Love the
that's
alliteration.
alliteration, right?
Yeah.
Dead, dying, dangerous. Very, very good alliteration. Thank you so much for that. Okay, any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions, motion is adopted. Move for the adoption of a resolution to approve Barrett Paving, state contract number 23291 for the asphalt for paving town roads in the amount of $1 million. Budget code 003-5112-4750-0000. Capital Paving is contracted.
Second.
Okay, do we have any discussion on this? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions, the motion is carrying. Move for the adoption of a resolution to approve T.H. Kinsella Incorporated, county contract number 5871 for runner crush for road drainage projects in the amount of $25,000. Budget code 003-5110-4553-0000, runner crush. Second, please.
Second.
Okay, any comments? Gotta fix the roads. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions, the motion is adopted. Move for the adoption of a resolution to approve SignCon for cylinder, main boom cylinder, and bucket cylinder rotor assay. Wow. Let me read that one again. Move for the adoption of a resolution to approve SignCon for cylinder, main boom cylinder, and bucket cylinder rotor assay in the amount estimated at $8,793.62. Budget code 003-5130-4358-0000, highway machinery other.
Second.
Do we have discussion?
Just a comment, it's my understanding that because this is a sole source supplier, no bids were required in this case because they're the only place where we can get it from.
Okay, additional discussion? All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions, motion is adopted.
Approval of Town of Cicero posted meter purchase and postage meter lease. Move for the adoption of the resolution that the town board approves and authorizes the town supervisor to purchase a Quaden X-7 certified mail solution via New York State Sourcewell contract number 070125-QDT for the amount of $8,235.75 from Ed Ed Business Technologies. Purchase a maintenance contract from Ed Ed Business Technologies for the Quaden X-7 certified mail solution at $1,824 annually. Lease a postage meter from Ed and Ed Business Technology for the Quaden IX-7 certified mail solutions. That includes ERR for 63 months at $67.50 per month. Budget code 001-1670-4000-0000. Lease options, Pitney Bowes postage machine lease option, $479.38 per month for 60 months. Ed and Ed Business Technology lease options for $419.99 per month for 63 months.
Do we have a second?
Second,
Okay, board comments.
just,
We'd like to have
oh, okay.
Wayne come up and give us a little bit more insight on this. Thank you.
I want to be sure everybody on the board understands this. We have a postage meter machine that the lease expires the end of June, middle of July. It's through Pitney Bowes. The lease options at the bottom of this resolution to show you how much more expensive leasing is compared to buying this machine outright off the state contract. All right, I got this information. I reviewed it with our comptroller, and we determined that buying the postage machine is a better option for the town. We're doing the same thing that a number of school districts and other municipalities are doing. In fact, I took 2 people from the town hall down to the North Syracuse School Admin Office last week, okay, so they could look at one of the machines to see if it meets their needs, which it does. So we will buy this. Now, we cannot buy a postage meter. Postage meters and everything are money printers, so we can't buy them. You can only lease them. The government maintains control over those. So those we will still have to lease as part of this. But in the long run, because this may last way longer than 5 years, all right, this will save us money. Up front, this is a $21,000 cost amortized over 5 years compared to $29,000 for Pitney Bowes or $25,000 leasing through Ed and Ed. So this makes sense. Now, this ERR is something to do with certified mail. We send quite a bit of certified mail. Pitney Bowes tried to get us to release early last year. And they said, why aren't you doing this option for mailing, for certified mail return? You can save about $500 a year to do this. I looked at that, and the cost to add that into that lease that expires in a few months was about $4,000. Okay, that was foolish to do. All right, that's why that's in here as part of what Ed and Ed does. Okay, and it's about $16 a month. So there is a savings for us to do that. The other part of this, and I also consulted Robert Germain, all right, and I have some language from him about, can we accept a buyout of that Pitney Bowes lease early so we get the machine from Ed and Ed in here sooner? We can, okay? Robert has given me some advice. I will have a separate resolution for you after reviewing the Pitney Bowes contract to make sure there's no hidden mines or anything like that in there, okay? And we'll have that for you to accept 3 months of buyout, so we have no problem at the end of the lease at the next board meeting. Anybody have any questions?
So with the lease, do they maintain it, fix everything, all labor costs, all parts?
Yes, but
Okay.
that is that breakout cost of $1,800 a
Right.
year.
Well, I see that that was
If
my
we
next
buy.
question. With the annual $1,800, $1,824, does that maintenance contract, will that cover all labor and parts to anything that may break
Covers
on these?
everything.
Okay. All right. Good.
Great.
I know sometimes that it
Mhm.
won't cover certain things on a maintenance contract. That's why I asked.
Thank you very much for an extremely thorough investigation on this, Wayne. We appreciate it. You're saving the town money, you're doing due diligence, and we certainly do appreciate it. So any other discussion from the board?
Yeah, I want to thank Mr. Freeman both for the due diligence he put into researching all of this and then all of the follow-up questions that I had. I appreciate that. Do have one more technicality question that popped into my head as we were looking over this, again, budget related. So the budget code here that's listed, that's postage. So that's where basically the usage of this would be the postage that we're paying. Is that correct?
It also covers the lease for the current machine.
And it covers the lease. Does it cover the price we're paying for the purchase though? What account is that hitting for the actual machine, the equipment?
I believe we were going to put it in that line, but as I think about it, we may not.
Yeah, I
have
think
enough
there's
in
only
there.
$7,500 in that line. So the machine itself will exceed that. So we don't have to figure it out here, but just we'll need to probably shift some money around to cover the cost of the equipment. But again, this is a great thing to do. I'm glad the time was put into it. I think it's going to save the town money.
Okay, thank you, Counselor, for pointing that out. Do we have any additional discussion on this issue? Call for a voice vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions, motion is adopted. Counselor Daniel made it very prevalent to me that I did not allow for discussion at the last meeting and from the board, so I'm opening that up right now. Is there any discussion issues that any of us need to present to the town?
Just comment, again, thank you to all of the town staff that have worked to answer my questions. I had probably a whole page worth, and I appreciate all of the different departments getting back to me. I know it's extra work, but thank you very much for that time. Also, just want to throw out, again, thinking finances and all that, nothing to be answered now, but something that I think we should think about is how are we doing in terms of fuel costs year to date with the changes in the economy, the rising cost of fuel? I think it makes sense that we take a look at our budget to see, did we really budget enough to cover all of this, or do we need to be thinking about some contingency planning to shift some funds around? And likewise, is there any way we can potentially save some money, pull back and consolidate to try to accommodate that? Because if we don't look at it now, we're probably going to find ourselves in a situation down the road where we're in trouble. So just a little thought on that. Something if you folks can work on it, we can talk about it offline and just see how things are going.
Because we know prices are not going to be going down anytime soon. Even if the Hormuz situation changes, it's still going to be a backlog of oil. It's going to take quite some time for this. So the prices will remain high for quite a while. And good point. We need to address that. So do we have any other discussion from the board? All right, at this point, I would like to open up public input. Speakers have up to 3 minutes. And it appears we have no one stepping up. So I'm going to make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor? Say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Have a good evening, everyone.